Vladimir Putin lives a very luxurious life that would make most rulers of today grin with envy. When he's not hiding out in his underground bunker and threatening to destroy the world with nuclear weapons, he spent most of his time living in luxury. Even though he didn't build a gold statue in his honor or call himself living god, some of his crazy Asian co-workers did. Even though this is true, Putin is still one of the richest leaders in the world. Up until a few days ago, Vladimir Putin was a real star. Before it became out that he was an insane maniac ready to destroy the world if he didn't get his way, he was shrouded in mystery and loved by millions of people all over the world. When he played hockey, swam in a river, rode a horse without a shirt on, or hit a bear in the face, the Russian president gave off a sense of power, strength, and some kind of charming horror. A day in the life of such a unique person is full of luxury, big spending, and, of course, a lot of work and investments. You could be forgiven for thinking that President Putin's daily routine is to punch rebel in the face, drop vodka shots in his eyes, and arm wrestle a bear. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell to stay updated on our daily videos. However, the Russian leader's daily routine is actually much more boring. Putin usually stays in bed when he doesn't have any meetings overseas. This is why, even though he is almost 70, he still seems like a threat. His breakfast consists of a boring mix of omelette, fresh fruit juice cereal, and cottage cheese if he's feeling really crazy. After all, these ABS need protein, and even though his breakfast is about as boring as it gets, it still costs a lot. Everything Putin eats was picked from fresh nearby farms owned by Patriarch Kirill, the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, and cooked in his own kitchen by a skilled and well-paid cook. As you might have guessed, Putin has a general fear of being poisoned like many other Russian dictators before him. This makes sense given his situation. Because of this, it's clear that the Russian president is a picky eater, and he always insists on taking his personal chef with him when he goes abroad. Putin's cooks make him delicious porridge and is one of his best friends. In exchange for his loyalty, Putin pays him a lot of money. Even if the president doesn't turn down the delicious meals served during diplomatic visits, Russia's secret service must first accept everything. As a former KGB agent, Putin shows how quickly things can go wrong if he's not on top of his game. It's interesting that Russia's president doesn't drink milk at all. But it's not clear that he doesn't like the taste or just he hates cows as much as American imperialists too. Putin will have a cup of coffee that doesn't have Novichok after breakfast in his huge palace outside of Moscow. With a heated indoor pool, sauna, and a few small cold water diving pools, the Russian president knows how to live in style, and his Novo Agaya Arvo estate is no exception. Expensive furniture and a well-designed decor, Putin as a president of Russia has a lot of important jobs to do for his country and people, but he has to take care of his body first. After a healthy breakfast, he should swim for 2 hours to get rid of his annoying calories. Many of his political decisions are said to be made while he is swimming, which would explain why Russia's economy is in such bad shape right now. Since nothing happens in Russia without the knowledge of supreme leader, and because the president's paranoia makes him control in every part of government, ministers, MPs, advisors, and journalists are still waiting for Putin's advice on how to run the country well after 2 p.m. People often say that the wait time to see Putin is between 2 hours and 4 hours based on how important your question is. However, everyone will have to wait a little longer. Because of weight, if you're a journalist, you might want to bring some food. The only good thing is that people generally wait in one of the Kremlin's many beautiful conference rooms. People say that they look more like a throne than a normal cabinet meeting room. Putin keeps working on his body, which is the only thing Russia isn't falling apart where everyone's waiting for him. Putin is ready to lift some weights after a difficult swimming workout, not planes or bears, just normal weights. Putin does everything he can to stay in shape. People know that he likes all kinds of physical and contact sports, but hockey and judo are two of his faves. Up until a few days ago, the Russian leader was also the honorary president of the World Judo Organization. The Ukrainian aggressiveness, on the other hand, stopped him from taking part in IGA. In the middle of the afternoon, Putin's body has had enough and it's time to get ready for the day. Most of the time, the Russian president wears suits and ties, so his style is not too flashy. His favorite brands are Kitan and Brioni, but the EU sanctions against Russia mean that the Russian president won't be getting any suits anytime soon. Putin's suits collection, on the other hand, is worth tens of thousands of dollars, so you won't see him one in any time soon. When you have a private road from your home to your office in the Kremlin and a police guard in the hallway, Moscow traffic isn't as bad as usually is. Putin gives his job his full attention where he is there. For security reasons, the office is known for not having any windows and not letting any technology in. The only way to talk is through old Soviet landlines. which aren't very cool but are very good at keeping spies out. The president's first job of the day is always to read the reports from Domestic Security Service. His personal guards were the Foreign Intelligence Service, FSB, the SVR, and FSO. After he knows the truth about Russia, the president needs to find out what his people have been told. Putin spends a lot of time reading articles in the heavily edited national papers, especially ones that are nice to him. These kinds of articles are common in state-run media, as are the lightly edited broadsheets, which are considered the best in Russia. His least favorite is the foreign press, which makes sense. Because he had a bad name abroad, Putin needs to know what's going on so he can use it to his advantage when the president is in a good mood. If Vladimir is reading this, please don't push the big red button that will make the world a nuclear ruin. He likes to watch movies of himself being made fun of, but never in his office. Putin breaks up his daily schedule into 15-minute chunks, but he is not only world leader who does this. Most world leaders plan talks, press conferences, and the start of wars months in advance. This routine is followed even when Putin goes abroad. When the president of Russia travels for foreign events, he doesn't try to save money. Most of the time, his group stays in 5-star hotel, preferably one that the SVR and FSB choose. Before the president comes, the whole building is shut down and carefully checked and scanned. Putin flies 3 planes, one for himself and his inner group, one for the rest of the delegation, and one as a distraction in case the Russian president is shut down and World War III starts. Putin doesn't trust anyone, so he usually keeps a large team of cooks, maids, and other helpers around just in case. Putin likes to get up early. He says that when he has the most clear thoughts and gets the most work done. Putin doesn't like living at the Kremlin, so he usually works late at home. Because of this, Vladimir puts off his planning until later in the day. He often talks with his ministers or advisors well past midnight about policy and government issues. His dinner is usually just as healthy as his breakfast, but sometimes he likes to treat himself with something fancier like caviar. Most people in the West think that Putin drinks 1 or 2 bottles of booze every night, but Kelso loves pistachio ice cream and has been seen eating it with a number of world leaders. Putin doesn't drink much booze at all. Only at official events, where it is expected, it is not the case. Most of the time, he has 2 children, but we don't know much about them. It's best not to follow them around because the FSB is probably always looking out for possible threats to their lives. President Putin loves his 3 dogs, an Akita Inu named Yumi, a Caracacha named Buffy, and a black Labrador named Kuni. Boyko Borisov, the Prime Minister of Bulgaria, gave him the last soft drawstring ball as a gift, and Putin has loved it ever since. Some people might say that these dogs have a better life than the most Russians. With a personal wealth of more than $100 billion, the Russian president is sure to be able to give his closest friends the best. Vladimir Putin likes to stick to his routines, so he doesn't often show off how rich he is. While he lives in luxury on his farm, the Russian president tries to keep things real for his people. He has private company to protect him, a multi-million-dollar mansion in the middle of nowhere, and other benefits that are often out of sight and out of camera range. So, do you want your freedom, or do you want Putin's private life with all of his money? That's it for today. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up below, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We post videos every week, so stay notified. Thanks for tuning in. See you in the following video.